Hello, good evening to each and everyone. I'm Coach Amy Grace Gargar, the senior coach of Brain Chain School of Positivity, and this is the parent company of Imagination Playground. We want to share to you the story of how Imagination Playground, the genius of play, came to be. And this is also to help parents appreciate the existence of this play school, the evolution that it is now, and how we constantly and aggressively adapt to the needs of the parents as well as, of course, to our growing children. We acknowledge the fact that this is really precious, the things that we're doing, the appreciation that extended to us. We also learned that there are different pedia doctors or pediatricians all across Bacolod that has been recommending our program, and I'm very thrilled and happy. They say you have a business when it becomes a solution to a problem. But for us, we're just happy that we're able to share to you the passion that we have, and we want you to understand and know our heart. This is also to connect to all the parents who are currently with us, patronizing the program, and for also for the future parents who want to send their children to us. There would be a lot of questions like, is this a Montessori? Do you do occupational therapy? What we know is we're just offering a place where fun, laughter, learning, a place that they are free to be themselves, guided and motivated and encouraged by teachers who are passionate, really good dancers who can sing very well, are the things that we are trying to look into, and creating this kind of whole place. But it did not just bud overnight. There's a lot of feeling challenges, especially brought to us by pandemic. We had to stop for 2 years, understanding where we are at, seeing where we're headed, and if there is still something that we can give for this mission. And just to give you a background, I am also a nurse. I'm a registered nurse, and I am fond of having all these children. So I prepared a little presentation to let you just go with me and also help me reminisce how we arrive at where we are at now and where we're heading with all of your support and all of the initiatives that we've been putting in across. The whole play school or the whole unit or the office was originally for brain train school, but it was also dedicated for this imagination playground. So we want to just show you how this came to be. This imagination playground has been a dream and has been a seed of desire planted in my heart. And it all started with the fact that now your coach Angel is with you. She's an advertising major. She loves arts. And she's also one of those children well loved, looked after, motivated, encouraged, present parents. And of course, there's just the safe environment built built alongside her. But she was so protected that, of course, the culture that we have. So I was given the privilege to attend my master's in business administration, and I started this as a thesis. But the thesis was driven because it was already an ambition. Like, what if we create this kind of environment where we can pattern it like any childcare services that we have? Like I've witnessed in Singapore, because I've been living in Singapore for 7 years. I was able to expose myself to this childcare center, and then finding out if this could work in the Philippines. Then there's a proper and thorough study. We surveyed different kinds of parents. We understood that there's a presence of grandparents, and here, whether we like it or not, and I mean that is the reality. We can find helping hands, like we can hire helpers or caregivers to look after our children. So it is not really a need to have a childcare facility, because we can have these caregivers inside our house where it's more safe, we can trust them, and they are in our guiding hands and in our watchful eyes. So we did understand that. But then when we see the flow of the economic demands where both parents are forced to work in order to be able to put food on the table and maintain everything, the needs of the family, to put roof over our heads and be able to give a good education for children, then we understand the pressure now of raising the children. And we have seen the different the rise of cases of like attention deficit. There are the need of attention, the need of validity, or like validation that they're okay or not, the challenge of time spent with these children. We have seen that. So this thesis was able to help me see and draw attention of how do we point out and what are the things that we're going to place for. Another inspiration that brought us to this vision and mission is with a group of friends, with my high school best friends, grade school, high school best friends. Both of us were a nurse. We have another best friend who had a toddler, and we wanted to put a place where parents can rest a bit. So we had that idea of the drop off and there's per hour. And the difference that we have in a play school or in a playhouse is that we've seen different playhouses all over Bacolod prior to pandemic. And child are there while the parents are shopping and having grocery shop or pampering themselves. They can just drop the child, and obviously while they do this they can be undisturbed because the children are entertained and they can play. But the disadvantage is, though there's a play, there's mixed ages and there might not be really facilitated interaction, and the personnel there are just there to make sure that they're safe maybe, but the guardians are also there, but they're just there to just stand guard, but they're not obligated to look after the children. So the play there is still solitary. Or if ever the other child is vibrant and friendly, then there could be an interaction, but it's not facilitated. So I said, instead of like doing that, why not to put them in a safe environment with guidance, with proper teachers, but we're not forcing learning because you have to be different from nursery or preparatory school. This is simply a place where your imagination is allowed. You're allowed to think whatever you want and express yourself. Encourage you to express yourself. Ask as many questions as you can. Be curious as you can. Like, do and make mistakes, but the coach will just tell you and not spank you or punish you, but direct you different on a different level or manner, entertain you, let you see that learning should be fun. So it's an environment that you want to place your children where you know that they'll grow and bloom further. So that was the vision and that was the mission. Now it was a reality. We have now a 50 square meter place where students or toddlers can play, express themselves freely, go around, explore what they want. It's an unstructured play, but still we're able to build routine. Why I was able to draw around this, where this idea came from. So I want you to see the heart where it all started. So I started the program in 2017. I was the very first coach and teacher because I also love kids. In Singapore, I volunteered to a nonprofit organization or a church where we were able to look into 3 years old. They called them the beloveds. So I'm one of the pulpit teachers. I was able to teach things in front and then get the attention of 20 to 33 years old. I can see I'm able to attract it. They're interested. They're they're too hungry to learn. They love to have fun. They communicate. They interact. And I was excited that I can bring that feeling at home. So when I came to the Philippines, we tried it out, experiment, understand the parents' needs and culture, misconception, change it, educate them, and of course, let them adapt to how it is. The first 1,000 days of life are very crucial to our children. It is a window of opportunity to the brain. They're sponge and they learn everything. They only and learn everything on the spot, like everything they can capture because they're very observant. And allow me to spotlight myself, right? Okay, there's no, yeah, I'm already on the spotlight. So let me just check if everybody's getting this. So that was the dream. So what we believe, the first 1,000 days of life is the brain's window of opportunity. So you have to be more invested on your children's first 1,000 days of life, the same way you're invested to their college, because this is where they're already trying to start their personality. This is where you get to have like your childhood trauma, phobia, the personality building. If you're shy, if you're confident, then what we want to encourage here with parents who are busy, and we're also trying to like just give the children to the caregivers, is that give them an environment where they're not just going to have a solitary play. Do not be scared or do not be afraid to let them interact with people. I understand we just came from pandemic. It's post-pandemic. Some of them are pandemic babies and they were not having, they did not have playmate. But I think in just one click of your finger and just type in why play is important in your Google, you get to see an enormous amount of article where it will discuss to you why play is very crucial in the development of the child, especially with the in all aspects of the life of a child. So sometimes we would hear that there are like developmental delays. It is not because of certain influences, but we understand also it is also with the lack of communication or a lack of exposure. And that's why we get to undergo this kind of therapy, because we think that with certain intervention, it could be resolved. So when they're able to merge themselves to an environment where they feel it's really fun, there's high level of music, there are really vibrant and hyper coaches and very young. We have 5 to 6. We have 7. We currently have 7 coaches that are available, and most of them are licensed teachers, are part-timers or like part-time students, but they're student teachers about to graduate. So we have 4 licensed teachers on board, and we have one resident. We have one resident artist. She's doing the arts and crafts. Understanding the fine motor skills are very crucial, and let them appreciate art. We're trying to let this toddlers understand that it's a big world out there and it's okay to have fun, and that learning should be embraced as play. That's why we call it as a genius of play. So when you see them afterwards get excited, extend and share and start to share their toys, when we understand that in normal development they don't still have concept of sharing, and you know that they get to start they start getting names from their friends, or like start to build friendship with their classmates, and that's where you get to see the magic that's happening. So another thing is that their coaches are not just there to stand. They would usually have the conversation. You process the information. So when you get to see the child curious, you ask them, can you give me a banana? That's why you can see there that there's an array of fruit and vegetable to understand if they can identify. And if you keep saying that that's a banana, that's the time where the child can associate. So when there's really a communication that's happening, if there's a follow-up, if there's always a constant asking of questions, and if they constantly hear words, and if they always get to see you looking at their eyes, that they matter, you can start now encouraging the students. What do we want to build here in Imagination Playground? Is that just a normal play school just for interaction? We aim to hone and groom confident children. It is confidence that will help them succeed in life, definitely. So we have to start them young. We want them to, like, if they go if they go dance there and sing, and they try to dance without being shy, a lot with a lot of coaches around and other classmates, when they start to perform with you clapping your hands with not normal dance steps, you don't know if it's right or wrong, as long as you can see them do that. When you have head, shoulder, knees and toes, clap your hands, and even if they're not pointing to the right body parts yet, as long as they're dancing, that's fine, because we will leave that to school. School can always give you the certainty of the things that you want to learn. What are the things that you're supposed to learn? We are a play school where the children has to first be ignited. I mean, the curiosity should be ignited. We want them to first ask questions. We want them to wonder. We want them to look at what is this place? Why are these people too happy? Why do I have to clap if you're happy? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to stomp? Oh, so the dinosaur do stomp? Oh, so the dinosaur do crunch? You started to learn few things with the songs that you hear, and they know that when it's a time for yum yum, and that's the yum yum song, then they eat. If it's time for them to clean up, they know that they're about to go home. So you try to build routine on an 18-month-year-old, and you start now building, or you're starting now to make them go away from separation anxiety. We want to build an environment where we gain and we encourage confident children, because most of them grow shy because they're always solitary in the house. We will hear parents saying she's not used to have a lot of people in the room. Sorry, that's why he doesn't want to go inside. We are not forcing them, but we want the parents to also help them overcome that, because it's something that he has to overcome. Because when you go to school, you can't say that to the teacher, and he has to go through all this. So we have to start them young. It's not to traumatize them, but to make them stronger for themselves. Because, it's the world is not getting any better. We cannot filter things for them all the time. We have to make sure that we build strong, brave, and courageous children. So we have to expose them as early as possible. So not too fragile. So that's why we start from 18 months old. We're just happy that we also give recognition to them so that they get to have the idea of the reward system and how it feels to be proud of them, to be recognized as early as that, with no competition introduced yet. So I think that's the heart of why this play school has been built and carried on by the different coaches, why all of these coaches are giving their 100% energy. It's no joke. It's no joke to build a certain institution and then find 5 to 7 energetic people and let them dance morning and afternoon, and with all the matching energies of 10 to 12 students in a classroom. We had to expand. Before, the space is small because you want to have close monitoring, and you also want to confine the energy, because there would be students that has not yet been diagnosed or not identified that they have um, hyperactive hyperactive challenges, and they have to, like, they cannot just sit in one corner. So for safety reasons, and also to protect also our coaches, they have to be monitored properly. So the space is not as big as it was, but now the expansion had to happen because of the need. There's a growing need from parents. There's a lot of increase coming in. There are people who would say that if they could be inserted because it's needed, and that's why we had to expand. But this is the only way that we can expand, and that's the only chance that we can, that's the only opportunity we can expand, and we can cater to as much as this for now. But I hope that the parents will understand what they're coming into, because you usually will have I will usually see questions like, if this is Montessori, yes, with the toys and stuff. The toys that we're using are rubber and silicone, so that we had incidents of the proper Lego that it could be broken, because others students will have the tendency, or the other toddlers will have the tendency to, like, just break it because of super fun and excitement and the height of the emotions or peak of the emotions, and it could hurt others. Though there could be waivers that we're doing, but we want to create a safe environment to them. So now all of the Legos and other stuff are all silicone and rubber. So we don't do wooden stuff like what they have in Montessori. We do not want to make it as boring as possible, because we don't want to have dull moments inside. So the order would be, and we have respect for all faiths. That's why there's no introduction of prayers and everything. We want to cater to as many children as possible and want to cater to the diverse parents. So there's respect on equality, faith, background, race, religion, and everything. So, but what we're trying to appeal here is that for the parents to understand the real concept of what we're doing here. And you don't ask like, do they write? You have to read. There are writing. There is an introduction to reading. They're introduced with sounds and phonetics, but everyone has a different learning curve. Everyone has a different exposure. Each and every student has different interest. So you would see in the video, others dance, others prefer to play dinosaur, but why does the teacher does not want them to stand up and join? Because you're not here to force. You allow them. So I did a live earlier because I want you to see that there's was one child who's doing solitary play in the first one. He's a new student. He was not talking to anyone. Even if I was talking to him, he doesn't look at me. He's just ignoring me because he's still trying to gauge his environment. But you can see before the 2 hours was done, you can see him in the last portion of the live video that he started to dance. That's just the environment that you create. Allow them to freely explore what they want. And these coaches, these teachers are there to merely facilitate. You would see that they're very animated, their voices are very animated, but also they're human beings. They get exhausted, but because this is passion and they understand the very core and purpose of our school and institution, that is why they give the best energy and the best thing that they can offer at the table to all your children. So we're just here to augment whatever it is that you're doing in your household, and we're also trying to encourage communication. That's why it's a monthly basis. There's no yearly commitment because we also understand the circumstances of our parents, the job that they have to maintain, also the idea of the location of the place. That's why we have to put it in the heart of the city. We also know that the limitation of this, the people to fetch them and send them off to school, that's a lot of effort as well. But again, the first 1,000 days of life of a child is an investment. And we're also invested with you. So as long as you try and join us together, we will build and raise a better community by raising really confident individuals. So I'm just happy that you are one with us in our goal. We're located in Del Rio 2 building, second floor, room 209-210. And that's our place. It's a newly improved place, but the the size of the place is built to the fact that so that the 5 to 7 coaches can properly monitor and feedback the parents, especially most of the cases would be speech delay, or they want that the child to be able to express themselves. We cannot do the magic, but we can always pray for a miracle, that in the hopes that in all the dance and the singing, the dancing, the playing, the excitement, the extreme emotion that is present in the playhouse, it will encourage them to speak, communicate, and get to make themselves feel that they matter, that they're special, and eventually become the person that they will be in the future. I'm a product of good parenting. My parents may not be well off beforehand, but they try their best to be present at all times, allow us to join in everything that in every activity that we have in school, encourage us that we have what it takes, even though we don't know if it's talent or skills, or if maybe it's just guts. But guts brought us to where we are now. This confidence that they built inside us, the confidence that they honed within us because they make us feel that we can do what we want to do. And as long as you put your mind into it, and that's also one thing that we want to have this with the children, to believe in them. If they know that you trust them and you know that you allow them to fall down, get hurt, and feel the pain, but as long as you guide them and lift them up and get up, I think these students or these children will have a really good shot in life. And we want to be thankful and grateful to allow for allowing us to be part of that. And I know that that's just a short period of time, 1 month, or even if you renew every month, but it's just a short period of time of being a participant. To participate in their life. But that short time is something that we can relish for the rest of their lives, and to see them in their nursery doing well, in their grade school and high school, and we know that they started in that play school. That allows our dream to be alive. I felt that this is really necessary for me to do this live, so that you get to, so that the sincerity that I have, the sincerity, and you can feel the genuine, how genuine this is. What I'm feeling right now, I don't read any script. I just get on, and then I just want to speak my heart out for that, so that you know that the intentions of the founder, and the one who was given this desire. The person who was breathed with this dream, with this intention. I hope that you will understand where we're coming from, and that the same thing where all of our coaches are coming from, what they are called for to deliver the table. So I hope that the parents are there to support us, to encourage more parents to be more open-minded, to allow their children to not, we are here. I know I'm not yet a parent, but I know that you're all there to protect them, and you only know what's best for them, and you only will lift up, you're only going to look after their welfare. And we understand that. That's the reason why I think this institution is built, because we want to make sure that we're able to provide a place where the child is free to be themselves and be safe in discovering what they know and what they can be, and that they will be able to embrace that learning is fun and should be fun and must be fun. So again, this is Coach Amy inviting all of you, if you have a children 18 months old or 1.5 years old to 3 years old who's still not in school and you want to prepare them for school, our play school is the place to be. Imagination Playground, the genius of play, is open for everyone. So I hope you can join us in 2023, and let's build confident, let's hone and groom confident children. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that it's going to be a great year for all of us. Again, this is Coach Amy Grace Regar, the senior coach of Ranging School of Positivity.